Welcome to Phobros, a Kill Team podcast presented by Florida United Kill Team and North Florida Kill Team. What up, what up? Welcome to the Phobros podcast. This is Cameron here, Scorpius on Instagram. We have a great episode for you guys this week. I'm joined by my good buddy here, George.
What's up, guys? I'm George from Six Sided Paradise, and I'm actually joined by one of my favorite painters and best friends, Gabriel, over at Grave Paints.
Oh, yeah.
Hi,
Say hello,
I'm Gabriel
Gabriel.
over. Hey, I'm Gabriel over at Great Paints. Follow me on Instagram or Twitch.
Yes, sir. Gabriel's a very famous face here in Florida United Kill Team. And I'm sure he's a famous face for a lot of people, especially in the Instagram painting community. But specifically here for Florida United Kill Team, we have a wide variety of our regular players who are constantly running teams painted by the lovely Gabriel. George has been a long time purveyor of teams painted by Gabriel. George, let's talk about that here for a minute because I feel like the roots here run deep. The roots run deep. We're talking like the first time I ever went to a Florida United Kill Team tournament. Within like 10 minutes of being at the tournament, I was being shown teams that Gabriel had painted, and people are talking
Yeah,
like I know this guy, and I'm like, cool, but like in like a non-offensive way at all. I'm just like, all right, I don't know who that is. I actually thought Gabriel was gonna be just like some guy in Miami, but like the lore is
no,
so much deeper, and then I
Oh,
found out that
Gabriel,
he's like this
Gabriel,
professional painter.
yeah, Gabriel's what we consider in the server a Texas Ranger because he's out of state. He's in Ohio. And it's funny because I met him. I was following his page on IG, Grave Paints, and I played my first game with Stan at a game store in Norley. Love you, Stan. And Stan came over and he had first game playing. All he had was models, but his models were commission painted. And when he pulled them out of the case, they were a set of blooded,
mhm.
uh, beautifully painted by Gabriel. And I was like, dude, he's like, oh, I got these commissioned. I got them commissioned by this guy over on Instagram. I was like, oh, who is he? Maybe I follow him. And sure enough, I did. And I actually then reached out to Gabriel and had my Breachers commissioned. That was the first team that I got commissioned. And then it's been a few teams since then. Definitely last season and the first year of third edition, I had Phobos painted by Gabriel, and I ran those to with a full list of 20 operatives. And now this first year of third edition, I used them. I He painted for me Nemclaw with also all the operative selections. I ran them to the ground, but they've been nerfed 1,000 times, and I'm kind of done being sad. So.
No, Fort Nemclaw.
Yeah, but since then, Gabriel has painted a plethora of teams for guys in the community, from Chris, Stan. I had Gabriel commission paint one of my grand prizes for a local tournament.
Mhm.
So Gabriel's art is all over the state of Florida, um, and it's beautiful. If you look at it, pictures don't do justice. That's all I gotta say. The pictures do not do justice.
Yeah, make sure you follow him, everybody. So anyone listening on Spotify, watching live tonight, make sure you follow Grave Paints. He posts regularly, so it's not going to be like a once a month. I'm like a once a month painting poster. I like the fact that I have this like painting page, and it's funny because I was just telling Gabriel this before, but like I post like one model a month, and that is because I'm a really slow painter. But Gabriel posts consistently, and I think you were telling me
Yeah,
that you're actually posting through your backlog right now of pictures of completed
yeah,
projects. So you're like painting a lot. And I think this would be a
Yep.
great time for you to kind of talk about your history with painting and how you got into being a full-time commissioned painter. And then yeah, we can talk about some of our favorite kill teams that you've painted. But let's hear from you on your journey here. How'd this start?
Yeah, so essentially it started with me just getting into Dungeons and Dragons. So my friend group, we were all like interested in Dungeons and Dragons, but nobody wanted to like pull the trigger on it and actually be the dungeon master. So I was like, you know what, I'll do it.
the
So
usual problem,
yeah,
right? Yeah.
right, right. So I went, bought like some Reaper miniature, whatever starter orcs and goblins, and then I went to Walmart, bought some apple barrel paints, and painted up like my first set of minis, and they are god awful, and I still have them. I keep them right there on my desk, like to always remember me, like remind me where I came from. But
Yeah.
I started doing that back in like 2018, And then after 2018, I just kept painting and painting and painting. And then after I got to a point where I was like, I think I'm good enough to start like posting on social media. Then I started made the Gray Paints Instagram page, and from there, a friend of mine was like, "Hey, there's this guy posting over in these channels that I'm in that he's looking for Lord of the Rings minis to be painted." So I was like, "Okay, yeah, I'll shoot him a message." And the guy asked me to paint his minis for him, so I was like, "Okay, cool." And I was like, "Wait a second, I can get paid to paint minis?" And then at first it was really slow going, just maybe like a commission a month, just like one model. And then with Stan, that's where it kind of like it was the first domino in the whole thing. I painted that blooded team for Stan, and then it went down to you guys down in Florida, and then George, you messaged me, and from there I was able to like consistently get work from other members in the Florida community, and then also from Instagram and Reddit. People were noticing it, so I was able to just consistently get work, and then after a while I started building up like some regular clients that would just always reach out to me asking for more work. And then in 2024, I was laid off from my job, and I was like, well, now's as good of a time as ever. And ever since September 2024, I've been full-time mini painter.
Dude,
Awesome.
that's cool.
Yeah,
I didn't realize that it snowballed
Awesome.
with
yeah,
Stan. I actually
it
hadn't
did.
seen Stan's Blooded.
It's to the point.
I'm sure they
It's
look
to the
amazing.
point now, dude, that he has like full armies, and like Gabriel has full armies, and the he paints like a whole combat patrol, maybe like little battalion. And by the time he gets them painted and shipped off, the guy's like, "Oh, by the way, I'm sending you 2 more tanks and 7 more
Mhm.
squads and 2 more leaders." So I'm just like, man, those 40K guys go hard.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
do.
I imagine that because I was curious. So I mean, obviously you painted some Kill Team stuff, but
Hmm.
I'm assuming you'd mentioned Lord of the Rings, and then obviously now 40K, the full game has been brought up. So is that what you think you see the most of? Is it mostly 40K
Oh yeah,
commissions? Yeah, I'm
yeah.
sure
It's
it's a lot of
definitely
Space Marines.
Yeah, it's definitely 40K. The big team that kind of like was like my first like starter army was a Black Templar army.
Nice.
So I had to order it took a while to finish that one because that's when I was still working full time with a regular job and doing this part time. But I did a full, I think it was like 3,000 points of Black Templar.
Mm,
Then I did
mm.
just recently this past month or two, I did another 2,000 points of Thousand Suns,
Nice.
but
I've
not
seen
really
the
too
Black
many Space
Templars like
Marines.
posted. I've
Hmm.
seen you posting those, and they look really good. Great,
Thank
great
you.
saturation and tones on the black. And people who either haven't attempted to paint black armor in a good way and really try it, or people that just haven't really gotten that far into the painting hobby, black is a very hard one to do. Um,
Mhm.
I've always found it to
I
be
think because
challenging.
yeah, black is one of those colors that ranges both ways. You could go warm and cool, so
Mhm.
you could kind of flex the black. Like it's not just always if it's plain black, it's very one tone, but you could very easily highlight black or feather it out with a warm tone or a cool tone to completely change the effect of the armor, but it still looks black.
Yeah,
Right.
it's a hard one because if you just go straight black on something, it does look very one-dimensional and there isn't any depth to it.
Mhm.
Even if you have like a gloss black, it just never looks that great. And it's fine. Like it's also good if you're gonna do a lot of colors around it. But when you see a
Mhm.
good black that is like built up highlights of gray, or like I see, the GW style, they love to do the built up highlights of like a bluish gray color. It's how they do their Black Templars over in the heavy metal world. But I've always liked more of the buildup of the gray, which I saw that on yours a lot, Gabriel, when you were posting them, which it looks really good.
Mhm.
That's how I did mine. But
Thank
I
you.
didn't do 3,000 points. I did 10 guys. So but
I
Yeah,
was
I did
actually
10 guys over 6 months. So
yeah. I like
the
a warmer color of the black tones is where I like it more.
yeah,
the City of Sigmar's army you were doing
Hmm.
was super cool. He did a full City of Sigmar's army as well.
yep.
Yep.
And what who are they?
Who were they? Just it was the cities of Sigmar. It was just mostly like normal foot soldiers and a couple of guys with like old school like rifles.
Catapults, yeah.
Yeah,
That was also
just your normal rank and file horde army, but
dude.
humans.
Yeah.
That was a really cool one. I think that one was like a little over 2,000 points.
Nice. Sure, that was fun too. Just kind of a lot of
Oh yeah.
different. Yeah, I think on a. I don't know too much about AOS, but I'm sure the Cities of Sigmar. I've seen images of it. I feel like you definitely could do a. Every model could be different kind of thing there.
Oh
They're
yeah,
all like very
absolutely.
Dude,
ragtag. Yeah.
he had a model that was like an ogre with a
Oh
crow's
yeah.
nest attached to his back and a dude sitting in the crow's nest with like a gun. I
Yeah.
was like, that is the coolest thing ever.
A
Yeah,
mobile
that's
sniper nest. Yeah.
nice. That's cool. Very cool. Well, yeah. I mean, in your painting endeavors, then, so you're painting a lot of 40K stuff, which makes
Oh yeah.
sense. That's the big one. And I think too, like
Hmm.
when people are approaching painting armies for an army game like that, it's a pretty big task. And if they have the money, I mean, they're probably like, I'm just gonna hire someone to do this because they want, a lot
Oh
of
yeah.
people do want a good looking army. So to hire somebody with your skills and being able to have it done is probably very cool. But when it comes to kill teams you've painted, what are some of your favorite kill teams that you've kind of worked on? And I've seen a few. I know what mine is, but we'll wait, and I want to hear some of them from you. Some of the ones you've worked on that you really loved.
Well, my absolute favorite kill team that I have is I'm a little biased because I love Grandpapa Nurgle.
Nice.
He's my boy.
Yep.
So George actually gifted me a Plague Marines kill team. So that's my own personal kill team are the Plague Marines, and he was really sneaky working with my wife. Like, hey, what's Gabriel's favorite colors? Like, what's he gonna
Yeah,
want for this thing?
I
So
tricked you into painting it.
yeah, George tricked me into painting my own kill team. So that's my favorite kill team. I got it sitting
Wait,
right
wait.
there on
You
the
commission?
shelf.
Wait, so you commissioned him to paint it,
Yeah,
and then
Yeah,
he gifted it? That's funny. That's actually
yeah, it was a
a
yeah, I
birthday
great
did.
present.
idea.
Because
That's
I felt bad. Gabriel told me he never gets to play much because first off he didn't have a team or anything, but the fact that he never has time to paint for himself, so a lot of his stuff isn't really fully painted, and he's over here grinding out beautiful stuff for other people. I was like, he deserves to have his own painted
yeah.
team.
Got paid to paint your own team, and I've seen those. You did a grayish scheme on them, did you not?
Yeah,
Yes, yeah,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
black
it
yeah,
on.
was
yeah, yeah.
like
I
a
thought that was
dark
really
gray
cool.
with silver. Yeah.
Uh-huh. And the orange. I remember there was some orange in there as well. You painted one on a live stream, didn't you? Yeah, I watched that.
Uh,
The Lord of
I
Flies, I
painted,
think.
It was yeah, it
I
was Lord of
painted,
Flies. Yeah.
yeah, that was it. Yeah, I painted him on stream. I painted George's, what was it, the Imperial Fists. I think I
Hmm.
also painted Chris's Imperial Agents. I think it
Yeah,
was that were
Inquisitorial
like
Agent.
Inquisitorial Agent. That's what it was.
Hmm.
And
And that,
I loved the Casterkins you did. I talked about that
oh yeah,
before we went
Chris's
live.
Kazakh.
Yeah,
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 yeah.
those.
they're great. But I think my favorite model that you've painted for Kill Team was the alternate leader for George's Nemclaw, the very custom one.
Oh
Mm,
yeah,
Yeah, that
yeah.
is
That
my
was a fun
favorite
one.
one. Like I actually wanted to actually steal that out of George's box at the Rock thing. I thought about just taking that.
Yeah, that was a really
yeah,
fun one because
George
George he
leaves his
messaged me.
box up with like 70 cool minis in it. It's like he won't notice one. Just one.
Just one of them. There's
Yeah,
just one of them out of the 700 in there.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But yeah, that was a really
that's,
cool one because George messaged me.
yeah.
He's like, "Hey, I got a crazy idea. I want to take this Chaos Lord and convert it into a Nemclaw, but I want to take the vampire head from what was it, Blood
Blood Angels.
Angels? Yeah."
Hmm.
And he's like, "Can you like change out this hand with this weapon? And can you put like..."
And then we got an Emperor's Children arm from the new kit, the new army box. So it has a flesh on the pistol. We also did the power maul because I didn't have any leaders with power mauls, and we swapped out the tactical rock for an ogrin to
Yep.
match Stan's ratlings.
Yep.
Nice. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
cool. No, no, it's a good, and that's
Also
the
has
you
a
did. It's
helmet
just
mounted on his belt.
Hmm.
The helmet mounts on the belt is also one of my favorite details that you don't really always see. That's my favorite team that Gabriel's painted. By the way, I'm very biased as well. My Nemclaw are perfection.
yeah,
Yeah, those Nemclaw
Perfect.
are probably like right behind my Death Guard is the Nemclaw. Like when you
Yeah.
first asked me like, hey, what's your favorite team? I was like, oh, probably the Nemclaw because I did all that like NMM gold and I did like that really graded blue. I'm like, that's probably my favorite. But then I'm like, no, it's definitely my Death Guard.
Yeah,
I love
sure.
my stinky boys.
yeah, yeah, yeah. They look good, dude. It all looks really good. Um, and I think too, the NMM on you did on those Night Lords looked incredible. It was one of the first things I noticed, I think, when I saw them. And it's a really hard one to nail down that smoothly,
for
I
sure.
would say.
Hmm.
I
Um,
do not have that skill in my toolbox yet. I cannot do it.
it's a hard one. I've attempted it a couple times and I'm happy with the results. I don't think it's something that in my paint style it doesn't fit as well because all my stuff looks so like gritty and realistic that it doesn't quite
Mm.
work on the models unless I do the whole model in that sort of like almost cleaner, higher contrast scheme. But it is time
Right.
consuming. The
Oh
blending
yeah.
Oh,
involved and the glazing involved. It is really satisfying though, just to take like an axe, could be any axe, and do it on an axe. I don't know why. I've done that a couple times. Just like got a couple leftover like axe bits, and it looks great on like an axe blade. Because I think you can
Hmm.
really define the shadows and the highlights on the blade of the axe going down. It makes it very fun. Not sure why that is, but it just works.
I find like rounded edges
Hmm.
really highlight NMM the best. Like if it's a flat edge, it's fine, like a sword or like a shield, that's fine. But anything with like a rounded, like the shoulder pads or like you said, an axe blade,
Yeah,
those really shine for NMM.
yeah, it looks great, and it's just fun. So that's cool. Well, let's see here. So we've talked about your favorite teams. And I want to know too, any current paint projects you're working on that you're really excited about? Anything super notable that you've been tasking through recently?
Currently, I maybe about half an hour before the stream started, I just finished three white scars. They're sitting right behind me.
Nice.
just
Uh,
finished.
yeah, I just finished the three white scars right there. After that, I've got some Star Wars Legions minis kind of sitting in a box right here on my desk, just waiting for
Nice.
that. And
Mm.
then after that, it's kind of like a little side thing that I'm wanting to do where I'm going to start making little painting tutorials to post
Oh,
on YouTube and
yes,
coffee.
yes.
So I got
Nice,
about
dude.
six models
Hell
in front
yeah.
of me that I printed out, all from my friend John over at Vevictus Minis. He's a
Mm-hmm.
miniature sculptor, and I asked him, I was like,
Love
"Hey,
John.
can I use your models to like make painting tutorials?" And he gave me the green light for it. So Vevictus Minis, thank you.
Nice. Big
Yeah.
shout out there. Check
John.
him out as well
Yeah.
John.
because that's cool. Um, and Star Wars Legion, there's been a lot of hype for that down in Florida the past couple months.
Yes.
What
Hmm.
specifically are you painting there? I'm curious.
Yeah. That was gonna
It
be your
is.
question. What faction are you painting?
It is just a stormtrooper. I had already painted some models for this person last year, so I got them the bulk of their stuff done before. But they're like, "Hey, I got a leader that I want done really well. Can you paint this one model really well for me?" I was like, "Yeah, send it my way."
Nice. That's cool.
And then they have
Yeah.
some extra terrain bits because they also play X-wing,
Hmm.
so they 3D printed like a big space station,
Huh.
and they want me to paint up the. I already painted out the majority of the space station. Now they've just got like extra little bits that go onto the space station that they want me to add to the color scheme.
Nice. That's cool.
Mhm.
Yeah. I find that with Legion, I have like about 1,000 points of Rebels that are like half painted because it's gonna take me forever to paint the whole dang thing. But I did go like super extra hard on my leader models because I was like, you know what? Half these guys die in like the first 5 minutes of the game, so I'm not gonna spend all
Yeah,
this time painting all these guys super well. Just the ones that really
right.
matter. The show pieces, I guess.
And that's
Mm.
usually how it is. Like when you have those big armies, it's the chaff models, the cannon fodder. You just paint those up real quick,
Yeah,
just tabletop tournament ready, and
battle
then you're
ready.
like, all right, now I got my big centerpiece leader. That's the one I'm going to spend time on.
Yep, yeah. That's kind of how it is for me too. With Kill Team, it's a little bit different because I don't know when I see 10 models on the board, I'm like, all right, I can actually paint all 10 of these to like my
Mhm.
highest caliber, and I'll spend the extra time making them really crazy. And not that anyone cares any more or less, because models die just as easy in Kill Team sometimes, and nobody takes that much time to look at it anyway. But I think when you have that smaller, it's like you view it in the smaller vacuum. I think a lot of Kill Team players would agree, like if they're into the hobby side of this, that you spend a lot of the extra time, especially in the kit bash world with Kill Team. I know we
Mm.
talk about Ben a lot on this podcast at Battle Brothers Tabletop. He's one of my favorite kit bashers, and I think George can attest to that. Ben takes
Yeah.
every team and fully converts it into his very own thing that is usually not relevant really to how the team is supposed to look on the box art, which is really really cool though. Like he finds this like very niche way to present the team, and it's one of a kind every time. I think you could say.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
I think
his green stuff work is incredible too.
incredible, yeah. So I think that is like with Kill Team is my favorite part of the hobby of having, 6 to 10 dudes that you're painting and hobbying, and you just go all in on those guys.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think the big thing is that in Kill Team, it's not like how you guys Gabriel was saying earlier that you have like a bunch of regular dudes and then the big centerpiece. Kill Team, everybody's a little bit special.
Hmm.
You have the Fearmonger, the Screecher, the Skin Thief. They're all like cool individual models. So when you're painting them and then you don't do them justice, you're just like, I know I can push this a little further. I know I can tweak that to make it look nicer. And then the whole team looks good instead of just one model on the table and the rest of everybody looks okay.
Yeah, oh
That's what
yeah,
I like.
that happened to me. The first Kill Team I painted, George, was the Black Templar
The
team.
Phobros?
Yeah,
The
but the
okay.
thing was is like I painted them the first like there was like phase one of that team that never got posted anywhere. And I painted them
Okay.
up like kind of like battle ready to go play at Magnolia. So people saw them there and they were fine. They actually were I think they were painted really well for my first painting attempt. And then I started seeing other people posting videos of like different things you could do with a brush and I was like, well, I don't have another team I'm gonna play and I think I could make these guys look like 10 times better over. So then I went
Mm,
back and started and added like 6 to 8 hours to each model. I think by the time I was said and done. And in the process of that, though, I developed like so many paint techniques in one team. They gave me this like experimenting ground where I learned how to glaze stuff. I learned how to do
mm,
non-metallic metal. I learned how to do um, shading and highlighting with oil washes, like so many different things that I don't think I would have tried otherwise, all because I was on the pursuit of like how far can I push these 6 dudes?
mm. I know like there's times where like when I was getting my Phobos painted, I reached out to Gabriel and I was like, hey Gabriel, can you do this camel cloak, phasing or whatever? And he messaged me, he's like, I've never done it, but I'll do it.
Hmm.
So I know that through painting kill teams and other armies, you've been able to learn and like kind of rush some skills that it takes a hobbyist of some time to acquire. What are some of the things that like you've picked up over recently that have like really changed because of the stuff you've been painting? Like any painting skills?
I would say the biggest one is probably wet blending.
Okay.
That is my bread and butter on how I'm able to paint things fast. It's just being able to put down like a shadow tone and then a highlight tone and then wet blend the mid tone into it. So that way I'm not spending the time with putting glaze on top of glaze on top of glaze. I'm just two colors, it's done, it's got a nice gradient in between, so the mid tone is just there. So
Okay.
that's probably like the biggest skill that I've learned to help me the most in commission painting. Because commission painting is all about how fast can you get it out. Like it's got to look good and it's got to be done fast.
Yeah,
Is there
I think
anything
you're
that you've
famous.
painted that kind of scared you when you had like someone told a client asked you for something and you're like that's gonna be tough, but you ended up trying it and doing it anyways?
Um, Probably kit bashing pewter models.
Oh,
Just
Oh,
yeah,
because
that's
with
the
with
ultimate.
pewter, it's rough because it's like with plastic you can kind of fix your mistakes by like taking a little plastic shavings and a little bit of plastic glue and shove it in there and like, all right, cool, I fixed it. But with pewter, once you clip it off, it's gone. That's it.
Yeah,
So you've really got to commit when you're working with pewter. And
mm,
also it does not like super glue. So it's a lot of pinning. Like I bought a special pen drill just to deal with pewter models.
hmm.
mm,
I think
wow.
something people don't realize about pewter, because I've been dealing with this myself recently with the Wolf Scouts proxy I have. My Wolf Scouts are Iron Snakes, and I have a 1980s GW um, water serpent proxy that's pewter that's replacing the wolf on the team, which is very cool, very
Mm.
thematic. But the pewter is so annoying, dude. It is not only is so it's so bendable and it's so breakable as well. I've almost snapped the thing in half because I had to shave off a ton of the pewter on the. It has this like ridiculous. I don't know why. I think it's just old models it's the perfect size to fit on the oval base, the snake itself, but it has this crazy chunk of rectangular pewter that the model is sitting on, that it's like attached to, like it's part of the
Hmm.
mold. So I've had to very delicately shave that off with multiple tools, and I've almost snapped this thing in half multiple times, but it's all bent out of shape now anyway. And I ended up having to actually heated it up with a hair dryer and and kind of pushed it back into shape because it's that moldable. I mean, it's
Yeah.
very, very easy, but also really annoying to work with. I
Right.
couldn't
And
imagine kit bashing like actual minis. That sounds
I
no,
so
it's
terrible.
it's a headache.
Yeah, yeah. What
But
what were the minis? I'm curious that you had to kit bash.
I think they were like some Infinity tanks,
Ah, okay.
and they were just asking like, "Hey, can you like swap out this cannon for this cannon and all that?" And I was just like, "I can try."
Yeah,
And
sure.
they're like, "Yeah, if they're like, if you ruin it, it's okay. We can work around it." But I'm like, I don't want to ruin it though.
Yeah, yeah, that's tough.
Right.
Yeah, I think a good thing that I took away from what you just said though is, and this is something I've always talked about with painting, is like two things. Is like anyone can be a good painter with patience.
Hmm.
If you're patient enough to give yourself the time and grace to try the different things you need to do to improve or to tackle the next thing, and you are graceful with yourself to know that you're going to make the mistakes and that you can very easily fix these things. I think a lot of people get paralysis with painting where
Hmm.
they get to a certain point, they're like, oh, I can do this, but I don't want to mess it up any further. It's like, well, what are you going to lose? I mean, you can fix it. And then the second thing being kind of what you talked about with wet blending, which is something for me, I was a little worried about that one when I first started doing it. Um, I was doing it on the skulls on my belts of my Templar team, of my Phobos team, and it was scary at first, but it's kind of like just get in there and do it kind of thing, because it's not overly complicated in theory, but it is kind of daunting when you start throwing, two colors and then a mid-tone all wet on a piece of plastic and you're trying to blend it with a brush. The initial kind of point of that, it's hard to get through that hurdle.
Right.
mean, just to touch on what you said, Cam, the worst case scenario, you could always just buy another mini. I mean, minis aren't really that expensive. So if you do really chalk it up really bad or you absolutely hate your model, hey, throw it in your never look at again pile right on your desk where you're just gonna stare you in the face, and just go buy another model on eBay and redo it and try again.
Mhm.
That's the glory of this hobby that we're in. Everything isn't crazy expensive, and once you have like your paints and your tools, it's not really an expensive dive to get the models and stuff.
No, with
Right.
a
And I
single
mean,
mini. Go ahead, Gabriel.
right
Yeah,
at the end of it, it's just paint. You can paint over it. If
that
you
and you can stick it,
really
right?
really hate the paint job, just hit it with primer again and paint over it.
Yeah, it's never that bad. I honestly I have thrown crazy stuff on my models in the pursuit of trying to get to the next level of like really messed up like dirty grim filth and realistic weathering and textures like super glue and then acetone on top of that. Like I've done some really science experimenty stuff to my minis over the past year, and I've never messed one up to the point that I was ever thrown in a drawer. And I've done
Hmm.
some stuff that's definitely worthy of that, but I always salvaged it at the end because there is
Mm.
something to say about just keep putting the damn stuff on the model. I mean, I'm sure there's a point where you get to, I'm sure anyone has probably gotten to a point where they have done that and beaten a model into the ground. It's just a dead horse. You have to just put it down. But I'm just saying, I've never ever gotten to a point with a model where I had done so much to it that it was unsalvageable. I mean, at the end of the day, you're just learning anyway. And I
Right.
think too, like I have some buddies that are trying to get more into painting and they haven't been into it really before. They've been more players, and when they talk about it, they get stuck on like a single thing on a single mini, like
We have
one piece.
our chat's been taken over by wives. Our wives, Gabriel, are all up in the chat.
I am
Xana's
not
there too.
looking at it, but
It's
I see
popping,
him.
but they're having girl talk. Talk. They're
nice,
making fun of it.
nice.
And the
Um,
hair dryer. They're making fun of your hair dryer.
of
Hair
the
dryer.
oh the hair dryer. Oh yeah,
Using
yeah,
the using no
yeah,
using the hair dryer for the pewter model.
Oh,
yeah, yeah. It was worthwhile. I have a hair
Oh, I'm
dryer.
that
sure.
works. I mean, I
Yeah.
keep a hair dryer under my desk when I'm wanting paint to dry a little faster.
Oh, I've used the hair dryer on myself. I also have a daughter. She likes to get her hair blow dried. A little salt spray in the daughter's hair with the hair dryer. She likes it. But yeah, no, and they seem to get stuck on like a certain part of a mini, and I'm like, well, look, this is like one thing, and just finish it because there's gonna be like 1,000 more models you're gonna paint after this anyway. And I think that is another thing to always keep in mind for anyone out there listening about painting in general and like kind of progressing the skills. It's like don't get caught up on even one single mini. Like just do
Mhm.
your best on that mini with what you wanted to get done and move on to the next one because the next time you do it's gonna be better. Um,
100%.
and I think it's hard for kill teamers because we're not really painting high quantities of minis, so it is easier to get caught up as kill team players on a specific team or a specific mini because we're not always like painting a giant army. Like if you're painting 1,000 points of salamanders, you could probably paint the first 10, and then by the second 10, you're already at another level of painting because you just
Mhm.
painted so many guys. But still, just keep it moving. Like the next one's
Right.
always there.
I think the saying, the good saying is the old good saying is trust the process,
Trust the
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
process.
yeah, yeah.
Yep.
Always trust the process because I think too, like some people, and I felt like this. When I first started painting minis, and I'm sure Gabriel could maybe attest as well. I was like, I don't think I could ever paint like these guys I see on Instagram. And then a year
Hmm.
into
Oh,
it, and I'm not painting like the guys I see on Instagram per se, but I do a pretty damn good job for like what I want to accomplish. And I'm like, oh, so all I had to do was like keep trying. And it
Yeah.
does, like, if you really do try and you really do try to learn the techniques by watching what others do and watch the tutorials, subscribe to the Patreon, whatever it is that's kind
mhm.
of like igniting your passion with it, you will get to that next level. I mean, it's not a rocket science type thing.
What's funny is I'll be chatting with Gabriel on Instagram, and we'll be like admiring some minis that he's done or I've done, and then all of a sudden I'll get a post on my timeline from Ed Mini Turista, and you already know whatever he's throwing paint on is top tier,
Oh yeah.
top tier painting. I'm like, hey Gabriel, look at this. Like, how do you even compete with this guy? This guy's on a whole other bracket of painting.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. He's incredible.
Yeah,
But he
yeah,
does
definitely.
post some really good like, and and this isn't bad for him either, but he'll post some stuff where he'll show a model he painted in like 2016, and then he painted it again this year in like 2025 or 2026. And like the 2016 version, I look at it and I'm like, oh, I could obtain that if I really tried. Which is like, okay, so like I'm trying to obtain to what he painted 10 years ago, but still,
I think
like
that's
I
the
th
point.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, like
But you also got to
I'm trying
think.
to paint to what he painted, but still I think it shows like the progression. It is obtainable. It just depends on how bad you really want it. And I think too, like for me, I never really think I desired to paint that much detail, contrast, and highlight and OSL into a model. I don't, it's not for me. Like I want to paint a certain thing to a standard that I like, and that's the most important thing for anybody. Is paint it the way you like it to whatever your standard you see fit.
Yeah. And you also got to think those Instagram and YouTube painters, they've been doing this for years.
Oh
Like
yeah.
you can't beat yourself up for it where like you said like, oh, what he painted 10 years ago. It's like, yeah, he did that 10 years ago. Now he's been doing this full time for 10 years.
Yep.
So he's got that whole 10-year gap in there on you. So you can't look at the people at the very top and be like, oh, I'm never gonna be able to paint like them. It's like, well, they've been doing this for 20, 30 years.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
And it's like if you did it for that long and dedicated like what looks like a bulk of your day every day to it like he does, you'd probably be
Hmm.
in the same skill bracket.
Right.
For
It's
sure.
it's not like I said, it's not rocket science. It's really it's you I think with painting, and this is really anything in life, but with miniature painting, you really get what you put into it. So that's what you get out of it.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I think this is a
And
good
it's always a
time.
good feeling. It's a great feeling when you get your stuff painted. I think that's like the best thing about mini painting. The accomplishment of you put the guys on the table and you're like, wow, I painted that. That's cool. I built them. They came in a box on a piece of plastic, and I cut them out and trimmed them and put them together and painted them. That is an awesome experience of
Yeah.
feeling.
Right.
Oh yeah, no, that's cool. Well, George, you gotta tell us. So we heard Gabriel's. Before we move on to the next segment, like what's a? I got a good one for this. What's a weird or different kind of paint technique that you've picked up the past year or two that you're carrying into your daily painting? Could be anything. Um,
Um,
something that you learned on your own.
So, I mean, I actually, when I first started painting, I didn't use a lot of enamel paints, and over the past year, I dove heavily into enamel painting. and I absolutely love enamel washes. So that's something that I'm definitely carrying over. This year, what I'm trying to get more into is freehand, to be
Nice.
able to do a lot of things, a lot of cool. I want to like put tattoos on my guys and stuff. So I want to get better at freehanding. I feel like that's going to be the skill that I hopefully work on this year in
Cool.
painting.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good one. I also am trying to figure out, I want to put some really cool like water tribe type tattoos on my iron snakes, like on
Yeah.
their bare faces, because I feel like it's very thematic for them. I just don't
Right.
quite know how I'm gonna do that yet.
Yeah.
It's one thing I haven't really done too much. I think the most freehanding I did was a few Templar logos on my first Phobos team, but those are actually easier than they look. There's a pretty easy
Yeah.
formula to painting a Templar logo that I found online. Just requires 4 lines, and then you do the 4 lines intersecting each other, and then you actually just paint between the lines. It's pretty easy. But like the
Mm.
tiny detail tattoos, I'm like, I don't know how I'm gonna do that yet and figure that out.
Yeah, I tried to tackle tattoos on my Wolf Scouts, and I attempted it, and I was like, nah, I'm not gonna do it. But I did. I did paint the eyes, so I'm happy I did that.
Hey, there
Nice.
you go.
No, then that's a good
That's
one.
also another hurdle to tackle is getting eyes painted.
Yeah, dude, that's a
Yeah,
hard one.
eyes are
I don't
tough.
even do, actually, I don't, I think I could do it. I don't do black pupils on any of my models. I do like a very bright white dot on the eye, like the actual eyeball, with a lot of different like red and purplish kind of washes around it to kind of make it look like a really messed up eye. I just like the way that
Mm.
looks. Like a messed up
Yeah.
dead eye. It's very like fitting to me for 40K. But I think pupils look good when I see them done, but I also always just feel like I don't know like would I actually see that pupil on this thing at this scale? Does that make sense? You know
Mm.
what I mean? Like if I was like actually looking at something from this far away that's this small, would I see the pupil? I don't think I would. But maybe I'm just like
On the
giving myself an
tabletop, not
excuse.
really.
Yeah, I might just be
Yeah.
giving myself the excuse not to put little black dots on my guy's eyes, but
Those kind of details are important when it's like you bring out your army and people go like, "Whoa, that's cool. Can I touch it?" And you're like, "Sure." And they pick it up, look at it, wow, go like, "Wow, that's really good. How'd you paint those eyes?" And they set it down, and that's about
yeah, right, right, right.
it.
Yep, I think that's where it gets cool. But yeah, I don't bring myself to do the actual pupils. I think they're cool. I think one technique that I found very early on that just seemed to be an easy trick for me to do a lot of different things was um, stippling, specifically though, with a medium-sized Citadel dry brush. So the Citadel medium dry brush is actually not that big. If you look at the Citadel brush range. The Citadel, it's really not. It's a very small dry brush and it's perfectly square. Now, after you use the thing twice, what happens because they're such crappy brushes in my opinion, is the actual brush itself fans out a good amount and it kind of becomes this like mess of brush hair. And what I found it was really good for was all types of messed up textures to stipple with and cover areas in a way that you don't have to use a small detail brush to stipple because that gets really annoying. I do that on like armor sometimes, but it's just really annoying. It's only really good if you're going to stipple like highlights maybe on leather. So taking this like small, medium-sized dry brush and you can work your way up really well. Like for instance, on like a Space Marine shoulder pad, if you're going to have a white shoulder pad and you want it to be kind of really messed up and weathered, you could start with a very dark brown and stipple that, leaving some of the black primer, and then you stipple a lighter brown on top of that, leaving some of the black and the brown before, and then finish with a very kind of off-white color stippled on top there, which is kind of how I did my Templar pads. And what you end up with is what looks like a white that has been eroded away in a bunch of different spots with dirt and rust built up on it, and it looks so realistic and so good, and it's the easiest thing you've ever done. And it also works really well for skin. So if you're painting like large amounts of textured skin, especially flayed skin, George, for
Mm.
your favorite Night Lords boy, it looks really good on dead skin. You can build up a lot of great messed up skin layers by using that kind of technique with that specific brush. Not sure why that works so well for me, but that's my take.
I was actually watching a video today with I forgot the name of the channel, but it's Uncle Adam, and he's like an older YouTuber who's painting, and he was talking today about stippling painting with a makeup sponge
Hmm. Oh
because he
yeah.
says there's another guy, an army painter, Ron, I believe his name is, that uses he's been doing tutorials on how to paint with a makeup sponge,
Hmm.
and he says that when you stipple paint with the sponge doesn't get into the recesses where the dry brush might get into some recesses when you poke down and you stipple. The makeup sponge won't.
Yeah.
So it actually gives you a nicer like textured area
Yeah.
with a dark recess.
I've done both, and I think the only difference is if I when I use the messed up dry brush, I get more kind of like irregularity to like the weathering look to it. It creates a lot
Yeah,
more like messy
because of
texture.
the hair. Yeah,
Yeah,
because of the hair
and
and
then the
stuff like that.
sponge almost like I did a whole Space Marine with the sponge one time because I kept seeing those same videos you're talking about. And I don't know if Gabriel, if you've tried this, but it kind of creates like almost an airbrush effect. Like you can blend really well with those sponges because it comes off so smooth, and you can blend up like three colors almost like you airbrushed it.
Haven't tried the makeup sponge, but I've tried packing sponges before, where you rip up like a package sponge and it
Hmm.
creates really gritty, random kind of texture to it. But
That
I haven't tried
works
the makeup
really
sponge.
well.
I do really
So the
want to try that.
reason why he was saying the makeup sponge is so good is because it's like a regular sponge, but it's a lot more um God, well, I forgot the word he used. It's a lot more threads and stuff, so it's basically made for blending makeup. So it's just good at doing that, at doing blends.
Yeah, it creates like the
Um,
smoothest blends. It's kind of crazy. I
yeah,
used it on a project I was just working on to blend in a top highlight layer of skin because it just blended so smoothly. What Gabriel was talking about though is really cool. Ripping up those packing sponges
yes,
or any kind of like messed
Mhm.
up sponge. That's even
correct.
like that's like taking the dry brush that I was talking about. That's pushing it an even harder step in the irregularity side of things. Where if you take one of those and if you're working on like I don't know, you're working on a white armor for say like your white scars, and you take one of those with like a brown or even like a really kind of like gray black, and you go ahead and you kind of stipple with that sponge in areas where you want armor chipping. It almost does it
Mhm.
so irregularly perfect that it looks so
Yeah,
natural that they lost like a space marine. Took a bullet on his knees, and he's got all these like paint scuffs that are like showing these like weathering patterns. It looks really good.
Mhm.
it's definitely like using a cheat code when you're trying to get battle damage.
It's more of a
It
technique
is.
than an art form, but we don't care
Yeah.
because it's more function over form. But yeah, I mean, I swear half the stuff I do is more function over form. Like it's more about the end products and the weird thing you do to get there than it is about the actual artistry of the thing. And but that's just how things go. So
Right. Doesn't matter how you get there as long as you get there.
yeah, no, for sure. Um, Yeah, let's take this time though, and we've talked about all types of paint stuff. We've talked about all types of kill teams we've painted and what we've loved, but I want to take a quick moment here. Let's jump into our Auspex scan real quick, because I have a good one for this week. Here we go. All right, back here. So Auspex scan for this week. And I think George, I think I sent this to you because I thought it was cool, but I don't actually have anything to share on the screen because it's only on the App Store. But there is a new Kill Team app, unofficial Kill Team app. It's called Void Command, VOID Command, and it's kind of like a crossbreed between everybody's favorite KT Battle Kit that was recently shut down and a game management app. So essentially what you do with this app, and it's really great, I think, for new players or, experienced players like George and I, where you can go in, they have the rules for every team. They have all the approved ops, all the map layouts, and all the tac ops, everything you could possibly need. And what it does, it gives you a full game setup. So it actually sets up the game for you and walks you through a game of Kill Team from start to finish and gives you a score tracker. So, like for example, you go in, you select what team you're playing, your opponent selects what team they're playing, you guys do initiative roll off, you put what the roll off result was into the app, and then it tells you what to do next. So it's a really great way, I think, to keep the game flowing. If you're a
Oh
little
wow.
yeah, it's really powerful. If you're a little confused on kind of the new 2026 game rules and how the game flows, I've had some people I've played in the past couple weeks where they were like a little confused on who gets this initiative card here versus when do you get the reroll card. Well, this makes it super simple. It also gives you the resource to look at all the rules for all the teams, and it's updated. So who knows how long it will last, as all these things do with GW stuff, they get shut down. But the creator of Void Command followed the Phobros podcast on Instagram. That's how we found it, and
Mm.
I'm a big supporter. So shout out to the Void Command app if you are experienced kill teamer, or if you're teaching people to play kill team, or if you're new, check out Void Command because I think it'll be super helpful and it's free. So can't beat that.
Can't be free.
No, can't be free. Gabriel, we got to get you on Void Command. Got to get that third game of Kill Team in for you.
Yeah.
Nice.
I got 2 games of Kill Team under my belt. That's about it.
Mm-hmm. No, it's okay. That's how it goes. I mean, obviously, too, you're spending a bulk of your time getting these guys painted, so I don't know how you'd have time to really play that much Kill Team.
Right. Well, it's like locally, there's not really a Kill Team scene here, or if there is, I just don't know where it's at. So it's like all my Kill Team buddies are down in Florida, and I'm up in Ohio, so
Yeah,
it's not quite
I'm
quite
sure
just
there's
like
a scene
a drive.
somewhere, but they're always kind of
Yeah,
in certain areas. They're hard to find. You never know where they might be.
yeah. It's hard when you don't have a Ben.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. We have an organizer in Florida, an overlord supreme.
An overlord.
Yeah, yeah. So, George, we want to do some plays of the week. We got any plays of the week?
Oh yeah.
All
I
right. Let's jump
I
into it. Let's jump into it. All right, George, go for it. What you got? What's your play?
all right. Well, I've had plenty of games. Luckily, over the past since this year started, and this weekend I got to get 2 games in yesterday. I actually played uh the recent winner of Kiltona, our very own Dyron. I took him on for the unofficial first place of Kiltona. That was our unofficial championship match. Wreckers versus Wolf Scouts, and I bodied the boy.
I bet
it
you
was
did.
it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. It was a very good game. Dyron is an incredible player. It was definitely tooth and nail the whole way. He had a play, dude, where it was pretty much like deja vu from the last time we played. I charged my wolf into his leader on the strategic gambit because I just wanted to tie up his leader because I don't like that guy. And he had his big ugly dude with the rocket hammer on behind some heavy cover. I had my fang bearer on the other side of the door inside the stronghold. I won initiative turn 2, moved my fang bearer within 2, bolt pistoled him to death, and then
Nice.
he charged me with the fist guy. I was in the open. He charged me with the fist guy. I had already been shot at twice, and I was down to 5 wounds. The fang bearer was just making saves, staying alive. I was at 5 wounds. Dyron charges into me, rolls 3 attacks because he's in the storm, and he rolled 2-2-1. He wah re-rolled, got a 2. CP re-roll, got a 1. CP re-roll, got a 2. I rolled 3 crits and 2 hits. I dominated that guy. He didn't even touch me. That was
Nice.
the turning point to me of the game because I took out 2 of his models. I still had all my wolves on the board.
Yeah, you did.
Uh, it was a 17-6 victory.
Nice, dude. Very nice. That's cool.
Officially the undefeated champion of Kiltona. Come at me, everybody.
I have to ask
I'll see you
Eric.
guys in Mongolia.
Eric maybe will bestow that upon you, but I don't know. It's tough when you're playing Wolf Scouts, dude. They're just good.
Oh, for sure.
They're just good. But
They're
Rekkos
not
are
as
really
good
good
as
too.
they're great. Oh no, I think it's a amazing matchup. Their records are tough
Rekkos are just good
because
into
they
everybody. We talked about it last week, but have you painted
yeah.
up a Rekka team yet, Gabriel?
Not yet. So far, I've only ever painted 2 orcs. That's about it.
Okay, okay.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I mean, Cam, you gotta get them your records over there so he can pay them for you.
I know. I don't have a Rekka team, but I actually a good buddy of mine, and we've talked about Nino before Acrylic Astartes. I'm actually a big I really won't play a team that I didn't paint. Like seriously, I think if I don't have a team, I'm gonna try it. I'll try a team out if
You're
need
like
be.
to me, you remind me of like the minimalist kill team player. You have like your team, and
Yeah.
that's it. You maybe have maybe one other team,
Yeah, I don't have a
but
lot of
that's it. You
teams.
don't
I,
really
I like
have
to
like
focus on one thing at a time and get really good at it. I think that's a
yeah.
key thing for a lot of guys in this hobby too. They have like hobby ADD and they try to play like 10 different things. I think it's important to focus on one thing. But
Yeah,
yeah, I'm definitely the
you
minimal
always
kill
want the
team.
new hot thing. You know,
I know it's tough.
there's always a new hot thing
Shiny
coming
I don't.
toy.
out.
You can't fall for that trap. That's what GW wants. They want you to jump on that new hot thing.
That's
I
Um,
exactly
mean,
what
I
they
think I
feed off of shiny toy syndrome.
I think that's what
yes.
they're doing right now. I think they're kind of dangling something in front of our face cam right now at the moment. They
Oh
just
yeah.
reviewed something.
Oh
They
yeah, we
revealed
got we got
something.
a thing to talk about. We got a thing to talk about. Only thing I was gonna say though, quickly before we talk about that, is that for the first
Okay.
time, I will be playing a team that somebody else painted and is giving to me, which
Ooh.
is Nino, who's Acrylicist artist on Instagram, is going to be sending me his Rekka crew that he painted. He painted them as the red orcs with the
I saw them.
Uruk-hai
Those are
white.
so
Dude, they're
sick.
and they all
What?
and like well honestly to be honest, Nino is I like his paint style so much that I think I would play any team that he sent me because it's just like it's so my style. It's so minimal and so cool.
It's
Um,
clean.
it's very clean, yeah,
Super
and
clean.
so clean. I love it so much. I told him that I felt like if Apple, the company, like as in like iPhone Apple's painted kill teams, like they would paint them the way he does. That's kind of how I view his painting, just so clean and minimal. Um, but yeah, so I will be playing his records at some event and just for fun because they just look so good, and I can't, I gotta represent.
For
But
sure.
George, would you need to talk about what you were just thinking about? We just got a little bit of that Sunday preview
So
action going on.
today, yeah, today we us Kill Team players woke up to some wonderful news. We got a nice big article on the new upcoming pre-order for the two new teams, the Murder Wing, and I do not know what the new sisters team is called. It's like Celestian, blah 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 blah. But they are the new and improved novitiates team. Woohoo!
Yeah,
I think, okay, hot take here. I do think the Murder Wing are going to be great. I'm all over Nemclaw. My pick in the box is for sure Nemclaw. But I promise you, Cam, this new novitiates team is going to be broken. It's going to be broken.
dude,
I
I
hope
I
they're
think
broken.
so too. I think so
I
too
hope
because
they come out and they're just Sanctifiers Part 2. We're just like, what are we doing with this team type stuff.
I think so. I think we're gonna get a 10 man. I think they're a 10 man team on the board. It looks like.
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
well, it's at least 10 in the box. Maybe you field 8 or 9. Who knows? But I'm pretty sure it's gonna
No,
be
you
10.
take all 10 of
Yeah,
them. Yeah,
I
you
think it's
take.
going to be like a Felgor sized team, and I think they are going to be sick. I mean, you're looking at the team, you know that they're going to have some crazy divine powers type stuff going on, and I've seen no previews yet about this team. I've got no insider information about what they do, but I just know that
Yeah.
they are going to have some of that sanctifier stuff. They obviously have swords and shields. They have crossbows, which is super sick. And I'm thinking that they're going to be a little bit tougher than the novitiates. They have the full-on sisters battle armor as compared to the novitiate team. So I think we'll see them being a little bit harder to kill, maybe. I'm really just curious what the faction rule for them is going to be. Like, what's their thing
Yeah,
going to be?
I don't think it's going to be faith points again. I think they're definitely, we've mentioned it before. They're every team that's come out has been very flavorful.
Yep.
So I'm pretty sure they're gonna rock our socks with whatever they do with the flavor on the team. Um, but if it is faith points, it's gonna be crazy
I
because it
don't think
was so
so. I don't think
broken.
they'll. I don't think they'll repeat it. I don't think they'll give us that
I
again.
don't think so either.
I hope not.
I'm pretty sure they're gonna switch it up.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um,
I
and
mean,
then
my
the murder wing just looks. I mean, come on, flying space
Netfall with
marines.
jetpacks.
it's gonna be
Flying
tough.
space marines.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
go.
They're flying. They have a Melta. So I mean, what are you gonna do about that? They have a crazy demon. I think personally that they're gonna be a problem. They're gonna be a shake-up team because it's gonna be obviously a highly mobile elite team, and we've gotten. I don't have any like super hot takes on what they're gonna be able to do per se. I mean, I think when they first announced them, they talked about the boost function they were gonna have. They talked about the fact that one of the models could pick up another model and move him like some amount of inches on the board, which is a pretty cool ability where you can actually pick up somebody else's model and move them. So kind of like a ventriloquist type thing, again, like repeating the Nemclaw vibes. But I think the problem with them is going to be they're going to be very obviously lethal, highly killy, and they fly. So we haven't seen that yet. With obviously we've had Phobos speed marines, we got 7-inch move marines, but we haven't had elites that can just. I'm assuming that it looks like they can just kind of like bounce right over terrain. which I think is going to be a crazy shakeup. And they look pretty melee focused. If you look at the models in
Mm,
the preview, everybody's got chain glaives and chain swords. You have the one Melta, but I think we're going to
the
be going
lightning claws.
something.
The leader has the lightning claws. Yeah, they're looking pretty crazy.
Yeah, I think it's going to be pretty strong. But we'll have to see. I mean, we get pre-orders next week. I'm excited either way. I think it's a cool box. I'm really though, like, to be honest, and we'll segue into something else after this, but I'm ready for this box to be out and over with because I'm really excited for what we're gonna get the next like 2 quarters of Kill Team releases because like this is like the last Elite release I hope for a bit. Like we've had so many Elite teams come out in the
Mm.
past 6 months that I'm hoping that this is
Yeah,
it.
I think after this, I'm pretty sure they might give us a few horde teams. I hope we
Yes,
get the
yeah.
Cat Chat team that we asked for. We asked Santa for. I hope I hope we're good. We're considered good boys, and they give us that
Yeah,
Cat
we
Chat
need
team.
it. I mean, I think what they're doing, I said this to someone else, I think that they are filling in the cracks from the teams that just went declassified. So we're seeing replacements for Phobos, which we just got with the Wolf Scouts. We're seeing replacement for Legionaries.
No
We're getting
vicious.
another, yeah, and we're getting a replacement for Novitiates. So they're going to be going through now and kind of giving us new versions of these old teams. I don't think we'll get another Chaos Space Marine Elite team this year because right now we're gonna have three. I think we'll have Plague Marines, we'll have Nemclaw, and then we'll have the Murder Wing. So if they give us
We're
another
due
Love
one,
for
that
an
too.
elf team. We're due for an elf team.
yeah,
Um, I hope honestly. Okay, so prediction for the next box. I really hope we get jungle fighters and little bugs, like little Tyranids.
Yeah.
yeah,
I would
yeah,
love
That
yeah.
would
a
be cool. Like a
horde
horde Tyranid
swarm
team.
style
Yeah,
I think we'll
I
Tyranid
think.
team.
definitely get like a 14 model Tyranid team that has like options. Like imagine if you could take like kind of like you can take with like Blooded, you can take 12 guys and you take the Enforcer and the Ogryn. If you could take like
I think the
10,
Guardian and
yeah, you take 10
Yeah, take
smaller
like 10
Tyranids, you can give
Hormagaunts
them,
and like a warrior and like a couple gargoyles.
yes, dude. Yeah. I think we'll see
that
something like
sounds
that.
cool.
Yeah.
That
Right.
sounds really cool. I think
No,
that sounds cool.
they've been dipping their toes in the design kind of world. We've talked about this the past year with like really changing up the team formulas for like what you see in the team and what they can do, as well as like expanding the units that they're using for these. We're no longer just getting like 14 weird guys on the board with like a Melta, Plasma, and a different melee options. We're seeing a lot more varied and unique things coming out. So I think we're going to see some cool stuff this year.
Did you see the new Red Corsair models, Cam?
Yes, dude. Oh my God. I was almost
Do
like,
they
ugh,
not look like a kill team?
they do, but I don't think they're
They
going to
do.
be one.
Oh no, I don't think so either. But man, they should just be like, "Hey guys, here's a team. Take them." Oh yes,
Here's
please.
Legionaries. Here's your new Legionaries team.
Yeah, here's your new leader. Okay, no
Yeah, I mean,
problem.
as
They
soon as I
can
saw them, I'm like, okay, this is Kit Bash, Proxy City.
Yeah.
well, they can do what they did with like Warcry with the Chaos Dwarves. Be like, hey, we're releasing these Chaos Dwarves. Oh, by the way, here's some Warcry rules for them. Like, here, we got the Red Corsairs, and why not? We'll throw some kill team rules towards you. Like, why
Yeah,
Oh
not?
please,
I mean, that would be
please.
cool. I wish, honestly, dude, I would trade out Nemesis Claw and Murder Wing and give me the Red Corsairs as a kill team with like real pirate rules. That would be way cooler. I don't know. That would be way cooler if we got like a
Hope
Renegades,
Red Corsairs
Pirates,
look
Kill Team,
awesome.
Elite Team. That'd be sick, dude. But I get it. I mean, obviously we haven't had a flying Elite Team yet, so the Murder Wing is very
Yeah,
unique. Um,
no,
I mean,
definitely.
yeah, it's gonna be a crazy shakeup to the meta. I have a feeling. So, but I
The
want to
the
segue
website.
here, Gabriel. You look at these two new teams, like.
Mhm.
What are
Yeah.
you thinking, like painting wise? You look at Murder Wing and you look at the new Sisters team. Is there one that you want to paint more? Is there one that you already have an idea for? Where are you at there?
So with the new teams, it's really like a coin flip. I haven't painted any Sisters of Battle yet, so it would be fun to paint the new Sisters. But also, like I was saying earlier, like the Nemclaw are like one of my favorite teams that I painted, so I would love to paint more Nemclaw. So the Murder Wings would definitely be really cool, and it's just more more
I
fun.
mean, the problem with the Murder Wing is I'm sure you're not excited for all the trim.
Nope.
Not really. Trim's fine. It's like it is a bit of a slog, but once you get it done and you're looking at everything, it's like,
Mhm.
okay, that was worth it. That was
Yeah,
worth
it
it.
does look really good when it's finished.
Which team would you be more excited to paint out of the two? Which one do you think? Like, if you
Probably
had to pick
Nemclaw.
one.
Probably
No.
Nemclaw.
Okay.
Yeah,
Or not Nemclaw, Murderwing. I keep calling them Nemclaw.
they
They're
pretty much are. I mean, they painted them up as Nemesis Claw models or as Night Lords
mhm.
models. So I think though, I guess like it seems like you could paint them up as any team though. They're not like they don't the models
Right.
themselves aren't adorned with a bunch of Night Lord stuff. I think you could probably make them as any Chaos faction.
I think I'm gonna proxy mines as Blood Angels. Actually, I'm gonna
Oh
get
yeah,
Oh, that'd be cool.
jump pack assault assessor
the
marines, and I'm gonna
sanguinary
do Blood.
guys. That'd be cool.
If I
Yeah,
did it
You can do the
for, if
one
I was to
in.
use them for me, if I would use them for me, I'd make
yeah.
them all like Death
Going with
Guards,
double
but
sword. Ooh,
replace the wings with like fly wings or some sort of like bug wing.
Oh, I'm sure someone.
oh,
Yeah, dude,
that
that
sounds
would be.
cool.
There's a
Like
lot
take
of. That's
some
the thing is it
regular
opens
Death
up some
Guard.
great proxies.
Yeah.
I think the only other thing I want to talk about quickly before we because we're coming up to be 10:30 soon, so we want to jump into our That's Heresy segment here in a second. But one thing that I loved when I saw the Red Corsairs release, and I saw somebody else post this on Instagram, is if you look at the Trader Renegades pack, which is like the 10 basic Red Corsairs infantry models that they're releasing, there's like no trim on them, like at all. They have no chaos trim. Like they're actually kind of unique in that where they kind of actually they don't look like they're adorned with like spikes and chaos symbols. They look like actual like they still kind of have their Primaris armor and they just went completely renegade, just paint a different color.
Sleepy says to paint the sisters,
Paint
Gabriel.
the sisters.
Yeah, the Sisters models look cool, dude. I
They
really
do.
do like the armor that they've given them. They're like the most
Yes.
medieval looking kind of team, or one of the most medieval looking units that we have in this world. I think it's really cool.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Well, yeah. Let's jump into our That's Heresy for the week. Here we go. Here we go.
That's heresy, brother.
All right. So for this week, since we have Gabriel here, we had to come up with a special That's Heresy Brother topic that was going to be painting related. So courtesy of George, we're going to be debating slap chop painting method versus traditional painting method here. Let's hear George. You want to take it on this one, and you and Gabriel debate.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Gabe, which do you prefer? Which do you declare as heresy? Slap
Which
chop or traditional painting?
which one is heresy?
Yeah.
Uh, so why not? Let's be a little controversial here. I'll say traditional is heresy.
Okay.
Okay, so you're a slap
Okay.
chopper? Huh? You
Yeah,
like
So
slap
I'll say
chop?
slap chop.
okay.
Okay, look at you trying to get the easy way out, slap chop. It's all about putting paint down. It's paint by numbers, baby. The cloaks go red,
Yep.
the belts go brown, and then you wash, and then you highlight, and then you dry brush. Man, that sounds like crazy. Slap
See,
chop is.
see, I'm all about that speed, baby. Got to go fast. Got to go fast. So just hit it with a primer, dry brush it white, hit some contrast paint. There you go. You got a team ready for the table.
But okay. If you're telling me that traditional painting is heresy, but then how come when you slap chop your model, you gotta go back with my traditional base acrylic paint and refix your ugly slap chop coffee stains and stuff? Because we all know if you just slap chop everything, there's gonna be coffee stains all over your models if you don't do it right.
I mean, if you're
And
getting coffee staining, that's just a skill issue there. You
okay, okay,
you
Skill
got to thin
issue.
that paint.
Skill issue.
You got to thin those paints. Like I don't know about
okay.
you, but I'm not getting coffee stains on my slap chop.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
You got to go back in there and you
Listen,
have to actually work those paints around a bit, George. You can't just let them dry in
listen.
big
You
gloopy
can't
drops.
You can't call yourself a real mini painter if all you use is transparent paints.
Why not?
I don't know. I was trying to take a stance with that. I don't think that's a strong stance.
Hey, anything is better than a gray model.
Hey, we talked
That's why I
about
Oh,
it
said I'm purely
100%.
earlier. It's
functional.
whatever gets the job done, boys. What's the end
Right.
I think
product?
no. I think slab chopping is a phenomenal technique. It's very beginner friendly,
Right.
uh, and some models look incredible.
Right. And like you said, like it is fantastic. So I use slap chop a lot with commission painting. Um, but what I'll do is I'll slap chop to get the base coats down, and then I'll go over it with glazing and highlighting to get that finished polished look.
Yep.
So you do both. You
I do.
slap chop and so traditional paint wins because it's on top, baby. Oh yeah.
That's the last
Doesn't
step.
matter if it's on top if there's not a good foundation underneath it.
That's
Okay.
true. That's true. Yeah, I think that they're both pretty phenomenal techniques. I've actually never tried the slap chop thing, but I
Really?
think no, I haven't. It never really has come up for me. I don't really
I
work
think
with like
it'll
the
open like it'll blow your mind when you paint. When you slap chop your first model,
Hmm.
you'll be like, and if you do it the correct way by like priming black and then you maybe dry brush up to like a gray tone and then you dry brush up a little higher to a white tone, when you hit it with that thin contrast paint or the thin speed paint, it just leaves a nice dark saturated color in the recessed areas, and then because of the dry brushing and the zenithal, you get a very nice light edge highlight of that color or the lightest tone of it. And then like Gabriel said, you could just go back and glaze up the color again to either more saturated or just to kind of clean up whatever blends you didn't like. But it's crazy how awesome that technique is.
yeah, no, it sounds
And
awesome.
I'll Yeah, and I'll give you guys a little tip with the slap chop. If you want to make your slap chop look a little bit different, because what happens a lot of times with slap chop is people will prime it black and dry brush white. If you
Mhm.
prime your model in a different color than black, say like a really dark purple or a really dark blue or a really dark green, and then you dry brush the white over top of that, you're gonna leave a little bit of that color in the shadow, and that's gonna tint your shadows just a little bit in that different color, and it's gonna make your models stand out a little bit differently than other slap chop methods. That's how
Hmm.
I painted all my Tyranids, is I primed all of them purple, and then I slap chopped the white on top of that. So that way, in all the recesses, it has this really like dark, warm purple color.
That's nice. Yeah, yeah, and that sounds cool. I need to try it. Yeah, because I kind of do something like this. I mean, I do a lot of like airbrushing for my initial layers, especially for skin. But I'm doing like really fine detail airbrushing for skin because I'm doing it on like faces and arms and
Mhm.
sometimes like a torso. But a lot of the models I paint aren't like fully flesh. Or even just like doing like the zenithal thing on Space Marines is really nice with an airbrush to start out before you go in. And so I'm instead of slap chopping, I'm airbrushing, and then I'm going full traditional and lots of textures. But yeah, I'll have to try that. It sounds cool.
Mhm.
It
It's
also
fun.
seems it
It's
seems
a very
satisfying. It seems very satisfying.
it
I will
is.
say that. Yeah.
It's very freeing.
Uh-huh. And quick. I love anything quick, to be honest. Like I do take a long time to get minis completed because I love to go the extra mile on the smallest of details on a model, but I like to be able to do those details quickly. So
Mhm.
it
If you
seems
definitely want to
counterintuitive.
bang out like a kill team real quick for an event, or maybe you're trying to paint something up to give to a friend, or paint something up to just kind of have on your desk as something else to paint it.
Yeah.
Slap chop is definitely.
Mhm.
Yeah, no,
Absolutely.
I probably need to buy more kill teams like George said earlier. George, I own I have two completed kill teams and one in a box that needs to be built and kit bashed. I'm a minimal man. I can't help it.
I get that. I get that. It's okay.
It's just what
I've got
We're gonna fix that.
it's just the
We're gonna
overwork,
fix
I've
that
got
man.
by the end
four
of the
kill
year.
teams,
Yeah,
but
I
only
have to
one
give
of
it a
them
bit
is well
more.
2026,
painted.
Yeah,
by
it keeps me
2026,
focused. Keeps me focused.
by the end of 2026, Cameron's gonna have 26 kill teams.
Oh my God.
All right.
Oh, dude, that sounds insane.
That's how.
That's like that's nightmare, nightmare, nightmare. All right, guys.
I'll
Well,
walk you through how to paint them all.
yeah, no, I'm gonna be contacting Gabriel. Like, all right, George made me do this. Now I need your help. But guys, we're coming up to 10:30. It's been a great episode, Gabriel. I can't thank you enough for joining us tonight. This has been our first official paint themed
Hobby
episode as
theme.
well. Yeah, which is cool because, like I said in the beginning, like Gabriel is so connected to the Florida United Kill Team roots of any tournament you go to, and I'm not kidding when I say this. Any Florida tournament you go to, you are gonna see a Graves Paints Kill Team on a board somewhere, and I think that's powerful, and I think that's very cool. So
Yeah.
it's actually very special that you were our first guest for this.
Yeah. Thank
Yes.
you guys for having me. I really appreciate it.
Gabriel, plug your stuff.
Plug my stuff. I am on Instagram and Twitch.tv, both of them at Grave Paints. I believe on Twitch it's Grave Paints all one word, and or on Instagram it's Grave underscore Paints. On Twitch it's Grave Paints all one word.
There we go. What days do you
Uh,
stream?
I
What are you
stream
streaming on?
Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah, make sure you check them
Awesome.
out. Make sure you check out our Allspec scan of the week. That was the Void Command app. I know
Void
that,
commands.
yeah, literally that app came out literally like 2 weeks ago. So it's got like five-star reviews right now. And I think that they're definitely looking for some growth from our kill team community. So give that a check out, guys. And we'll have
Sure.
this episode up on Spotify this week. Otherwise, we'll be back with you next Sunday night.
Catch you next
Yeah.
Sunday.
See ya.